Hey guys, welcome back to another weekly developer diary. So I think this is the 52nd one now, so it's officially been doing this for a year now. So I find it quite poetic that for this week I'm actually working on the game concept I showed in the very first week of making these dev diaries. So before I show you all this, I'm just going to explain what I've done over the week. So essentially, in my new unit, we are put into groups and people can pitch game ideas, and then essentially we get put in groups and work on those game ideas. So what happened was not many people ended up actually pitching games, but I was one of the few that ended up pitching games, and I pitched the Soulbound idea. So that got approved by my tutor, and now I've got a small group working on it of about 4 of us. So been doing bit of work on it since Wednesday, so like past few days been working on it, and I'll just show you through what I've done so far. So like just today I've made this like Oni mask enemy, which is pretty cool, because this is essentially meant to be a flying enemy that shoots at the player. So here I'll show the idle first. This is sort of the idle animation I've got for it. I like the little like bob up and down with like its eyebrows and its mouth. I think it looks quite I don't know, like old school. So I don't really know how to describe it other than like gamey. How a lot of like old school enemies like bob up and down. I think it looks quite nice. But then the shoot animation, or like the firing at the player animation, I think looks really sick. This. So it might look a little too fast right now if I put the frame rate up a little. So essentially, on each frame, starts off normal, bit of fire forms on its horns and its mouth, then fire starts coming out of its eyes, its eyebrows, its teeth, and then travelling up the horns. And it just gets a bit bigger, more fire out the horns and on the eyebrows, and all over it essentially. I think at the very last one it looks quite. There's a lot of stuff going on here, but then the very last one it's just like the fire dissipating in the ends. But I think this looks quite good. I'm quite happy with this like firing animation. So other than that, I also created a new ghost sprite because the original one was a bit crap to be honest. So this is what I've got. I went for this sort of like blue, don't know what, like blue little flame idea, like some sort of like wisp, and then just give it sort of like a flowing animation with like the eyes bobbing between looking up and down. I think this works quite well. It'll be about this size on screen, and it'll just be this ghost flying about and possessing enemies. And then other than that, I've just been making changes. Like I've got a set color palette now for the game, so it's been like making a few tweaks and changes to the player character. As you can see, it's completely different colors now. So it's making a lot of changes to that and just like little tweaks and fixes. And then same with any other art. So like the dragon head enemy, for example, I've changed colours of. But then the main thing is we've done a bit of stuff in Unity. So since I'm the lead on this project, and we've got 4 of us essentially, I've got 2 people doing a fair bit of the programming. I'm doing all the art and then also just managing the group, and then another person's being a bit at the moment, just doing little bits. Right, if I just run it so far. This black box needs to be moved. That's one of my teammates in the middle of making a UI, but I'll just leave it for now. So as you see, I told them to put that on the top here as like a backdrop to her. But as you see, it's going to have, this is just placeholder UI, it's like they're not actually functioning yet. But what this is going to be is, shows ninjas, health. Oh yeah, there's also been a couple changes to the game idea that I'll talk through in a sec. It's player 1 and player 2 score, and there's a little box up here which is going to be a bit bigger in the final UI, but it's essentially going to show a little picture of what the ghost is possessing. So you can see I've also got this little like particle system on the Ghost, where it's just got like smaller little wisps flying around it. I think looks pretty cool. I've got like a little particle system on this Oni enemy as well, which is quite small, which is like a bit of smoke coming off it. So it's still got all the functionality of the old version, albeit the animator's a lot. I've actually got a animator hooked up now. Instead of doing a lazy way of hooking up all the animations in code, as you can see, we've actually got an animator now with attack, run, idle, and jump animations, all done in like blend trees, which is animation stuff. But I'll just talk through some of the changes that have been made to the game idea. So one of the changes is essentially the game loop of it is going to be that here. The game loop is going to be that the level is going to be procedurally generated, which I've got one of my programmers to create in just like a test area. So essentially the way this works is it spawns, if I stop maximizing play, basically you put in like a amount of different rooms that can spawn. So right now there's only one type of room, and then it'll pick a random room from there and just spawn it in a line. So but right now, because there's only one room to choose from, a base area, it's only spawning that. But essentially the changes to the game idea are that what's going to happen is it's going to be the same possession idea of the ninjas trying to beat the level. Well, the ninjas trying to progress by progressing through the level, and the ghosts possessing enemies in order to try and kill the ninja player. However, the change we've made is like the scoring and the win conditions. So how it's going to work is once the ghost manages to kill the player character, well, the ninja, what's going to happen is the ghost and the ninja are going to swap places, like, instantly. So it's not going to reset a level or anything, they'll seamlessly swap. So suddenly, player 1, who just died as a ninja, is now going to be swapped, so he's now a ghost. So now his goal is to progress through the level. So what these little things at the UI, at the top of the UI are what distance has each player travelled to the right. Because then that, essentially, the way to gain score is progressing through this level. It's just going to be endless. So the way you'll get score is by surviving as the ninja, but you also have to progress through the level in order to win. Because originally, one idea I had was, it could just be whoever's the ninja the longest wins. However, the problem with that is that doesn't encourage the player to progress through a level. It just encourages them to go to like a corner and just camp. So by doing this, it essentially makes it so it means the ninja player has to progress through the level, which then means the ghost can then try and stop him in order to kill him, and then once the ghost kills him, they can progress through the level. So the score is going to be who is, by the end of like a set time limit, let's say 10 minutes for example, who has been the ninja and travelled the furthest distance as the ninja, they'll win points. So then your goal as the ghost is, I want to kill the ninja in order so I can become him and then start getting points again. So that's the main change that's been made to the game concept. Other than that, it's pretty much the same as it's always been. But yeah, now finally after a year, you're going to see this game concept get a lot of improvement over the next 5-6 weeks. So yeah, I think that's everything for now. Because we've got some more work done on it, but it's more just like implementing it and coordinating it with different group members. Like, I've got one of my programmers who's made a AI for this enemy art I've made that will make it so they will aim and shoot at a player. It's just basically just a lot of coordination stuff between group members. Because the way you all work on the same project is you make changes to it on GitHub, and then you push your changes, but then you don't want to both change the same thing, otherwise it causes like a collision. It makes a big mess. So it's very much just like sorting stuff out. I've done this sort of stuff before when I did professional development. But other than that, I also start the job this week, doing 8 hours a week. I'll probably do that on Saturday, where essentially I've been told to make a game that is themed around the emotion anger. So I don't have any particular ideas for that because I've only had a induction about it earlier today. But I'll probably mention that in the next few game dev diaries. Probably won't be the main focus at all, but probably just be something I mention from time to time on how progress is going, or I might show some of the art I've done on it. But yeah, I think that's it for everything. So that's a year of game dev diaries done. So here's to another year, and here's to finally getting this this game made. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all next week. Alright, peace.